hope you have started looking at today's contents along with the revision. So let me ask you, like I have already highlighted the major part of today's is JSP JavaBean. So have you reached here point 3? Have you finished the earlier revision, everyone? Have you reached the last project, the day 8, the revision part? Okay, so here I just want to say something. Today I have a problem, so I won't be able to stretch it. I won't be able to stay on the call beyond 6 o'clock. So if you want, I can take your revision, one way. Only I'm not taking the earlier revision, only day 8 CMS along with JSP, JavaBean, DAO or this. Or if you insist that whatever you like, I'll be doing it. But if you say no, we want time to ourselves till 4:30, that is also fine. But after that, then I won't be able to take the revision because we want to continue with the admin part. So tell me, do you want to continue on your own in your, you are doing this revision or can I take the revision? Can I? Okay. So please open the diagrams and we will also try, not in a very elaborate manner, but enough sufficient this thing details. We will draw the HTTP session internal diagram to reflect or to make your understanding about JSP JavaBean also clear. So I'll tell you which diagrams you need to keep open. This page flow. The page flow means the topic, this thing, management system, basically CMS. So keep that case study open. So you will know like what is it we are developing. Another set of internal important diagrams is one which I shared in today's help, JSP JavaBean related diagrams. And here, of course, the layers. So open this. And another one, I don't know whether you have looked at it or not, but another one is also good enough to tell you guys, like, what is the correlation? When I say JavaBean, what is that relationship with the attribute? So do open the first one also. The name is JavaBeans and attributes. Can I start discussing? Is everyone ready? Okay, so before I take you to the flow where I ask you to open the login form and all the things, understand the relationship or the correlation between JavaBean and attribute. So what is a JavaBean? JavaBean is nothing but the server-side attribute. But who is going to create it for us? I mean, is it going to be programmer created or is it going to be created by the web container? Answer is web container created. Okay, so JavaBean instance, of course, is nothing but the server-side attribute created by the container. Now, everyone knows last few days, almost a week, we are talking in attributes. Attribute has a name, attribute has a value. Tell me the data type. What is the data type of a name and a value? String, comma string or string, comma object, S, comma O or S, comma S. When I talk in attributes is string, comma string. I'm so sorry, string, comma object, my bad. So this is your attribute name, this is your attribute value. And which was the method we were using for adding the attribute? You know, Java API, set attribute, and how we were retrieving it using the get attribute method. So you know this RHS column. Now relate it to today's learned JavaBean and you will start feeling less confused about it. So attribute name is nothing but matched with bean ID. You remember? Okay, there's nothing like remembering. We wrote JSP colon use bean and it had an ID, unique ID. So that ID is nothing but the name of the attribute. Okay, next one. Now, when you talk about attribute value, we used to give that. So that is nothing but JavaBean instance. And which are the scopes? 4 scopes where you can either add an attribute or the bean are the same: page, request, session, and application. Till I take you to Spring MVC, you're not going to see the fifth scope. In Spring MVC, whenever I take you, I'll show you the additional scopes. Now, so this was one level of correlation. And another thing is a very important thing again, understanding wise, association between JSP using JavaBean. For example, these are the, on this side, there is a, what you do in JSP on the left hand side, and on the RHS, what exactly gets called. Okay, so when you talk about JSP colon use bean action, everyone has gone through that action. What gets called in the underlying Java bean? Is it a constructor, setter, getter, or a business logic method? Everyone knows that. It is nothing but invokes default or parameterized constructor, by the way. Which constructor your container can call? Default constructor. But now I am asking you a better question. How many times that JavaBeans constructor will get called? I said, when you call JSP colon use bean, I mean, suppose you call JSP colon use bean, let's say 10 times. How many times that answer is already there, the once per scope. But that, I hope you understood the meaning of it. I'll confirm it again. So listen to this. If you don't mention the scope in that JSP colon use bean tag, what is the value of a default scope? It is a page. So then how many times your JavaBean constructor will get called? Once per every page. Over. If you put it in a request scope, how many times it will be called? Once per each request. So client sends a request, and suppose you are chaining it to multiple pages, and you call JSP colon use bean multiple times. It doesn't call the constructor multiple times. So once per request. Now, the most famous usage. Suppose you want to create a user bean. Just now we created customer bean, user bean to represent the customer details or, user details. Then how many copies of the bean we require? Okay, sorry, scratch that question. Where do you want to keep it? Which will be the suitable scope if it is going to hold the client details? What will be the scope? The session scope. So now answer my question. Suppose I have got some numbers. Suppose I have got 10 clients sending 5 requests each, to some website, and you have called JSP colon use bean. So how many times the constructor will get called? 1, 5, 10, or 50. 10 clients sending 5 requests each. 10 is the very right answer. So once per session, that is one per client. And if you want to hide some common details, some shared details between the customer, you put it in the application scope. And how many copies will be created? Answer is 1 per entire application. Okay, so this is the meaning of the first line. Now next one, when you say JSP colon set property, I've not shown you all the variations. I've just shown you property equal to star and name equal to whatever is the bean ID. So tell me, when you say property equal to star, how many setters will get called? How many setters will get called? Answer is correct. All matching setters. So naturally, the next question is, in that case, what has to match with what? It is a container who's going to call these setters, right? So what has to match with what? There are 2 things you need to tell me that this has to match with that. Yeah, so I'm waiting for your answer. Request parameter names must match with, don't say JavaBean parameters, Prashant, say JavaBean properties, or even to be precise, JavaBean property setters, right? So because setters will get called. So let me ask you an example, as an example. Suppose I have a property, let's say birthday. Suppose I have a request parameter birthday. So if I DOB birthday something. So if I want to set that in the bean, what is it I have to provide? First you provide a property, private something, birthday, DOB, and what is it you'll have to provide for set property? Setter or a getter? S or G? Everyone knows a setter. Okay, so that is your thing. And if you want to get the value If I want to find out the value, I'll tell you, we have used it. So when I go through the flow, you will understand. I'll tell you an example. We wanted to say after successful whatever login, suppose I want to access the user details. But where are these user details stored? In a Java bean as a data member. So supply a getter, and you can use either JSP colon get property, which I have not shown you, but we use the EL syntax to invoke the specific getters. And the last thing we write Java bean is for separation between business logic and a presentation logic. So if I want to call the business logic methods from the Java bean, forget these pseudo getters, we are not using it. You can of course call it with a scriptlet, but can you call business logic methods of a bean using EL syntax? Have you done that? Can you call the business logic methods of the Java bean such as that authenticate user, validate user, register user, add user, whatever? Answer is yes. So that is what is the, quick recap of it. Now keep these diagrams if you want in front of you open, and let's try looking at your case study page by page. So open your this thing, you must have already opened it, and here open the login page. We'll start the flow with a login form. I hope you have already edited your username, database username, password, if you have imported my project into Workspace. So let's continue. So the welcome page, home page, which will be sent as a result of the first request is login form. So there is nothing in that, hardly anything. So now tell me, after the form is submitted, after the submit button is clicked, what will be the URI? I said URI of the next request /d@cms/validate.jsp. Everyone knows it. What will be, how many request parameters will be embedded in the body of the request? Everyone knows answer 2. And the name of the parameters are email and a password. All important data captured from the form. So now, which is the next page? Which is the next page will be opening? Obviously, validate.jsp. So open. See, okay, before I ask you to open, of course you can open. I mean, anytime you are building the website, I mean, building any logic, we do it in a bottom-up manner. But whenever you are revising, you should always revise it in a top-down. Top-down means as the execution flow. So now, web container starts executing your another dynamic web page, validate.jsp. Everyone clear so far? There's hardly anything I've said so far. Okay, now comes the first JSP action. So what is the norm? Where will you write JSP colon use bean? Within the body tag or outside? General norm is outside. Try writing it inside. Generally it works. But don't misunderstand me. The corresponding code still gets generated inside the JSP service. Okay, so start telling me. I mean, let's start discussing. So let me just maximize it. So when you say JSP colon use bean, it is nothing but the standard action. Okay, so instead of showing you some earlier pictures, it's always best. That is why I told you that if you want me to revise, then I need more time. So if this is what you write, can you tell me what will be the Java code? I'll share all this as a whiteboard. So what will be the Java code container will call? So this will result into something. Yeah. So what will be the response of the container? Will it directly create a bean instance or will it check something first? Tell me. It will check. So what it will check? Bean is nothing but the attribute. So your container will check, is there an attribute by the name user under the session scope? So can you tell me what will be the Java code? I mean, equivalent Java code container will call. So which is the method it is going to call for finding get attribute or set attribute? Of course, get attribute. And invoker object will be what? Page context, request, session, or application, as in servlet context. Of course, session. So session dot get attribute. And as I said, bean ID is nothing but an attribute. So user. So now there are two branches, two possibilities. What are the two possibilities? This might return you null or not null. So if it, okay, let me say, I'll just mention this. So one possibility is it returns you null. Other possibility is doesn't return you any null, not null. Okay. So answer that. If you are calling this JSP colon usebean for the first time for any user, what do you think container will get? A null value or not null value? Of course, null value. What does it mean? You are in the session map, that internal session map, the what is it called? The attribute is not yet created. It's going to be created now. So the moment your container comes under this branch, what will container do? Container will create the attribute and add it in the given scope. So answer me, which is the scope it will add it in? Any arbitrary scope or specific scope? Of course, specific session. You have told session, so it has to follow you. So it will say session dot, I'm just combining all those things in one line. Session dot set attribute. Anyone wants to tell me what will be the attribute name and what will be the attribute value? Tell me. Yes, attribute name is equal to bean ID. So what is it going to be? It's a string. So user, and as an attribute value, which is the class it is going to instantiate? Exactly. It is nothing but a bean instance. So guys, it is nothing like what do you say, difficult or crazy, complex and all. It is just what you are doing earlier. Earlier you were creating an attribute. Now container is creating it. So for creating the bean instance, which constructor it can call? Parameterized or default? Of course, default. So new. And how does it know which class to be instantiated? You have supplied it in the class. So new user bean. Okay. And then the method returns. I won't say method, then the what is that? Action. This action returns. But now we are going to continue with the case study, of course. But now let us say in the next page, what is that? Admin.jsp or something, show form or topics. Again, if I call same line for the same user, is the bean instance already created for that user? Or okay, in that case, what will container come across? If I call it second time, will it be null or will it be not null? Of course, it will be not null. So in that case, is your container dumb enough to overwrite it, or will the tag simply return? Will the tag be nothing but action? Answer is tag will simply return and the code will continue. So tell me, take half a minute and tell me, is the working of JSP colon usebean fully clear? What happens in the either of the cases? Are we 100% clear? That is why I've said when you call JSP colon usebean, how many times the bean class constructor will be called? Once per scope. It could be once per page, once per request, once per client, once per application, depending on which is the scope you have asked for. Fully clear? Can I go to the next statement? Okay. So of course, I'm not going to go to the next statement. So now, actually literally go to the open the bean constructor. That is how the revision has to be done. Let's go a little faster. So open src main Java, beans and user bean. So which part of the code will get called from JSP colon usebean? This constructor. Is everyone clear how the control reached here? Okay. But now bean is not going to do the whole works. Bean says, I'm just here to write some, to represent some state and write some business logic. In short, where will be the data access logic? In JavaBean or in DAO layer? JB or DAO? Of course, DAO. So who is going to call whose methods in that ladder? Bean calling DAO layer or DAO calling beans method? Tell me the flow. Of course, it is bean calling DAO layer. So if I ask you in a SE, software engineering style manner, who is dependent upon who? Or you can say, which is the dependent object and which one is its dependency? Dependent object is user bean. Its dependency is user DAO. So here we have not yet reached Spring Framework where I can show you dependency injection automatically done by the container, by the Spring container. So here dependent object, that is bean, is creating the DAO instance. Are you understanding the ladder? I just said JSP colon use bean, container created bean, and from the bean class instance, you can just say control space or whatever, control click, and you can see the DAO instance created. Are we understanding it? So this constructor returns, control comes to the bean. This constructor returns, control comes back to the JSP. Totally clear the first line? So the first time you are calling it, your database connection is ready. You are prepared this thing, whatever user bean related, all the prepared statements are also ready. Okay, now let's talk about the next line. So when I say property equal to star and name equal to user, what will container try to do? Setter or getter? You know the answer, setter. So now when you say star, you have not given the property name. I have not said call email. I did not say property equal to email. You can do that, property equal to password, but that would have invested 2 lines. I just wanted to do it in a single line. So property equal to star. Now what will container check? Container will check which are the request parameters it has got. Tell me, what are the request parameter names it has got from the form, from the client, email and password. This is not a memory game ever. Immediately go to the form and tell me, what are the 2 request parameters a client is going to send it in the body of a request? Email and a password. So now, what will container try to call? Their setters. So container will say, is there a set email method we have given? We have matched it. So this will get called and the set password method will get called. So guys, what is happening? See this. Open that flow diagram, JSP, JavaBeans, DAO, Pojo layers. So this thing, email and a password, that is client information, was submitted to JSP and JSP is injecting it, JSP is sending it, JSP is setting it into JavaBeans by calling the setters. So how many setters we have called? Not we, container has called 2 matching setters. Clear everything so far? So the bean instance is created, setters are called. Now move ahead. The last line. So here now. So let's do it in the parts. The moment I say JSP colon forward, client pull or server pull? Simple question. Of course, server pull. So when you say JSP colon forward, what is the Java code, equivalent Java code container will call? Will it say response.send redirect or will it create the request dispatcher? Of course, it will create the request dispatcher. Okay, so let's add some more comments so that you get it thoroughly. So I will write the left hand side, request dispatcher RD. This is the equivalent Java code for your understanding. This is what you would have written in a servlet if we had done it in a servlet manner. So request dispatcher RD is equal to, request.get request dispatcher. Now tell me, what is the argument here? It is the page, the path, URI of the next page. So anyone wants to tell me, what will be the value here? So let me ask you, is this value, is this argument static or dynamic? S or D? Of course, dynamic. And that is what is the value of this page attribute. So in short, what is web container going to do? Web container is going to solve this EL syntax, this dynamic expression. To that, it will concatenate.jsp and that will be the value of your get request dispatcher ka argument. Understood it completely? Okay, so now solve that EL syntax which is already there. The moment I say session scope, what is it? Is it a session or is it a map of a session scope attributes? Is it a HTTP session or is it a map? It is a map of, it is not a session. It is a map of session scope attribute. So which is the Java code? Equivalent Java code we would have written in our servlets. Session.get attribute. In goes the attribute name, which is bean ID. And anyone wants to tell me what will this return? Bean reference, DAO reference, or a Pojo reference, or none of above? What will the highlighted code return? I've highlighted some code. So what will this return? Bean reference, user bean, user DAO, or user Pojo? Of course, user bean. Okay, so you have reached the user bean. And now, after that, when I say authenticate user with a parenthesis, is it going to call get authenticated user? I'm sorry, get authentic user, or is it simply going to say authentic user? Get or no get? Without any get, because you have explicitly added the parenthesis. It will not treat it as a property. It will treat it as a proper business logic method. Okay, so who is calling whose method? JSP is calling JavaBeans business logic method with Java code or without any Java code? Tell me, with or without? Using some Java code in a scriptlet or without? Answer is of course without. Got it? So now open your user bean, and this is how, or this is where the what was it? JSP calls JavaBeans business logic method. But I hope you remember your bean is already instantiated, which means DAO instance is ready and the properties, email and password are all set. So later you can check your SOPs. 100% you will find the not null values, provided you have done the matching. Now, here, who is calling whose method? We are sitting in JavaBean. So JavaBean is calling the DAO layer method. So I'll not repeat the DAO layer method. We have literally done it 2 weeks. All 2 weeks we are doing that. So now, what will DAO layer return? Or rather, let me rephrase. When it will return null and when it will return not null. Simple question. Null when? Valid or invalid login? Invalid login. And valid login, not null. So I'm just doing a check here. If it is not equal to null, then 100% it means valid login. So now we have to forward the client. I mean, then I have to go to authorization, role-based checking. So here I'm checking if the user is logged in a customer role, take him to the topics page and continue from there. But if it is not not a customer, I've got only 2 roles, customer or admin, right? So in case of admin login, take him to the show tutorial form. I mean, return this outcome. So in formal words, in little heavyweight words, complex words, what is JavaBean returning to the caller? Caller means JSP, dynamic navigational outcome. In simple English, what it means? Where to take the client next is decided by the is decided by whom? Is decided by the business logic executed in the JavaBean. So which are the 3 outcomes you understood? One could be topics, one could be show tutorial form, one could be login. Understood it completely? So with this, control comes back to your JSP, and you know. So okay, what will this be? Either I just now said login, topics, show form, and to that it will concatenate your .jsp, and here that is what will be the value which will be given inside. And then container doesn't stop here. It will simply call rd.forward, and with the same request and same response, you have already seen the navigation working. So last question, if it was the admin login, or okay, forget admin. Let's first fix the invalid login branch. Suppose I gave the wrong invalid email or password. What will be the value of this login.jsp? So you are forwarding the client to login.jsp. Control came here. But again, the form was displayed. So tell me, this is fine. The control was returning, but what was missing? The invalid, I mean, some error message we wanted. I want to put an error message. I want to navigate the client back to the form 100%, but I want to also add some message, invalid login, please retry. So tell me, that error message was coming or not coming? Is it coming or not coming? It is not coming. So now, so our revision part is over because this is the new stuff. So tell me, before we start going further, anyone has any specific question on this particular D8 CMS or on whatever I discussed? If you have any question, please ask. Otherwise, we are continuing with the case study in a parallel manner. I mean, code along manner. Anyway, in between also, anytime you feel lost, you feel confused, ask me question. So there is a question here. No, that Muhammad I told you already. I'm not doing that now. Our main topic of today is the JSP Java Bean. So I'm not straying from the flow. All those things I will discuss tomorrow morning when I take a revision or something. So that time you please ask question. Because today I have a slight time limit. I have to log off at 6. And before that, I want to achieve things. Yeah, somebody was asking me name and ID. So this is relevant means related to this. So guys, this one, Aman, it is all in the tag. It is not under my control. When you use JSP colon use bean, the attribute name is ID and the same attribute name becomes name whenever you use the JSP colon set property. So guys, if you are using JSP colon use bean tag, which attribute you'll use? ID. The same attribute name becomes name whenever you are using JSP colon set property tag. That is the way it works. Shubham, you try this out. Everything I'm not going to tell you. You try it out and tell me what happened. Did it work or did it not? Okay. So let us keep focus on the track and try to complete little more things than the things we could complete. Okay. So do try it out and definitely you discuss with me what you observe. So let us get going. I already told you what I want. What I want is, in case of invalid login, we are already forwarding the client to this page. I just want an error message here. Invalid login. Please try. If you did not understand what I said, I'll show you. I am not making a copy. Later, while sharing it, uploading it on the Google Drive, I will I'll give it a name, D8 Lab or something. So this is one. So see this. See, observe. I'm giving the invalid credentials. And can you see? We are forwarding the client. What tells you it is forward? See the validate.jsp. It's not coming login.jsp. But isn't it confusing to the client? So what additionally we want to this thing? We want to add on this page? Quickly answer that. A error message. So anyone wants to tell me which is easiest way to add an error message? So I want something like invalid login. Please try. Anyone? I'll just wait for a minute or half a minute, or otherwise I'll give you the clue. No, Prashant. It's not an exception. So error page handling and all goes for exception handling. So not a right answer. Okay, let me ask you. Where have you put the entire business logic? In JSP or in JavaBean or in DAO or in Pojo? Everyone knows JavaBean. And in JavaBean, can it hold some data members as well as properties? Of course, yes. So I'll tell you the easy solution. Simply add a property such as error message in the bean class. Yeah, of course, it will be a private property. Private means JSP cannot read, neither read nor write. So provide a getter. Okay, because JSP wants to read that error message. So provide a getter. And anyone wants to tell me where will I set that error message? I'll have to set that error message somewhere. Any idea where I will set the value of that error message? Invalid login, please try. Understanding or not? Wrong answer. I'm not doing any business logic, Prashant, in login.jsp. Where will I do that? In the business logic action. So let's do it. It just takes you a couple of minutes, to get the feel. And after that, things are so easy. So I'm stopping the server, open the bean, and let's add a new property. This was a property to store validated details. Here, write a comment first. Otherwise, later during revision becomes difficult. Add a property to store error message. That error message could be anything. We are going to solve that adding a tutorial. So maybe tutorial validation fails. So I'll store that the error message same, or likewise, so that way we are saying. So what will be the data type of this property? Of course, string, or it's just a message. So I'll say error message. But if I only make it as, if I just declare the property private, JSP cannot read it. So what is it you need to provide? I already answered that. See, the choices are getter and setter. Which one? But JSP is never going to set it. Okay. So just simply add a getter. Add a getter means generate a getter. Don't type, otherwise 100% you'll make mistakes. See, even if you add both, it doesn't hurt you. Only thing is unnecessary code increases, and the JSP will never call it setter. We'll never say JSP : set property for this. And now tell me in which line number. Tell me the line number. Already people told me else branch. So here I don't require the else also, because the control is going to come here automatically. Are you understanding? Simple logic, returns everywhere. So invalid login. So before here, I'm saying error message is equal to invalid login. Please retry. Understood the simple trick? I have not yet displayed it. That display part, the presentation logic, is the job of a JSP. So that part, Prashant, we will do it in the JSP. But generating that message or setting that message, which is a kind of a business logic, that we do it in a bean. Completed this. 79 is a problem. 79 implies invalid login. What is there? There's a comment in the 70 line. Oh, you told your earlier answer. Sorry. I thought you were asking a question. I'm so sorry. Okay, so done this much. Now, show me your understanding by adding the message there. In short, I will do the styling part. Okay, it's an error message. So we'll say style, color, red. Okay, anyone wants to tell me how to access that error message from the bean? Of course, the clue is EL syntax. So give me that EL syntax, which will pull up, which will get that error message from the bean. I'm waiting. Session scope .user.error message is right. Guys, some of you are going off track. So let me help you. First of all, do the reverse engineering. So which method you want to call from the bean? Get error message. Is it a getter? Yes. So okay, let me pick it up so that, and don't feel bad even if you're answering wrong. First day, your first day of JSP JavaBeans. So here, get that. But I told you explicitly, you don't require all this. So remove the get, lowercase the first letter, remove the parenthesis. What happens if you keep it? I told you, Shubham, some things, guys, you have to try. Everything, it just takes you a minute to try it out and then tell me what happened. Now tell me, when I say dot error message, it is treated as a property. And what will be called? Getter will be called for the property, or setter? G or S? A getter will be called. Now, whose getter to be called? The user beans getter. But what is using which name or using which ID? ID and name are the same. What is it we are using? Is the user. But if I do on the user.error message, how many searches container will have to invest? What is it going to call? Yeah, I got a lag. I know. Yes, the glitch I got. So I'll repeat it. So when you write, when you solve it from left to right, anyone wants to write, anyone wants to help me? What will be the equivalent Java code you would have written in your this thing? What is it? Servlet session dot get attribute, right? And then the attribute name is nothing but a bean ID. User, you would get a bean reference, and on that, since it is dot, it is EL is all about getters, get error message, and that would have been sent to the toString. It is already a string and sent to the client. So how do you send it to the client? If it was servlet, I would have said pw.print. So all of that code is avoided using one line. I mean, using the EL syntax. Understood? Getting it? Try it out. If you make a change in the JSP alone, you don't have to reload this. But if you make a change in JavaBean and all, the whole thing gets reloaded. So here, don't start with validate.jsp, start with the website, D8CMS. So here, oh, I have not started the server. I'm sorry, I stopped the server, which I forgot. I was wondering why it is not coming. So check it out and tell me, in the case of invalid login, are you getting a message? So my server has started. I'm checking. The console looks all right to me. Go to the this thing, client side. Is it showing you the error message correctly now? And did you understand the trick? Guys, with JavaBeans, life becomes so easy. Anything and everything, just put it as a JavaBean property and you can supply the getter or set it, and the whole nice clear-cut separation. And of course, if you give the correct one, we have already tried it. So suppose I say, for example, rama@gmail.com. This is admin login. So we are coming to the admin flow correctly. Has everyone reached here with understanding? Nobody confused? Can I continue? Can we continue? Now the next part. So let me say something. As always, first I will tell you the problem. I'll show you the problem and then we'll talk about the solution. So let me ask you. When I say, let me open. When we say this thing, the validate page, JSP:/forward, client pull or server pull? Same old question, CP or SP? Of course, it is server pull. So a new question, I mean, it's not such a new question. Which technique, which navigation technique is faster? Client pull will be faster or server pull will be faster? 100% server pull. Why? Because if you say client pull, what happens? Entire response is sent to the client browser, and in the next request, you are navigating the client to the next page. So server pull is faster. But are there any disadvantages in server pull? There are. And that is a well-known problem in web programming called as multiple submit issue or double submit issue. So first I will show you that and then we'll go forward. Okay. So just follow the instructions, please. Go to your user DAO IMPL. Open user DAO IMPL and here add a SOP. I don't know whose code you're. I mean, if you're following your own code, you might have different line numbers. I'm adding it just before executing the query. So I'm adding a SOP here in user DAO execute query. Why we are doing it? Don't ask me now. You'll understand it in a minute. So have you added one SOP in user DAO executing the query? That's select query, select start from. You got that? Okay. And you will, when you save it, you will observe that your this thing, your application has reloaded. Got it completely? Just a one-liner change I asked you to do. Done? Has everyone done it? Can I continue? Okay. Clear the console. There is a clear button here. Clear screen. Clear the console. So whatever happens is now new. Go to the client-side browser, please. And here, we have not yet reached the logout page. So just say D8 CMS and give the correct admin credentials. Gmail and 1, 2, 3, 4. Give the correct admin credentials and you will see admin login successful. Hello, Rama. Reached here, everyone? Nothing new I'm saying. Okay, so you might be wondering what is my point. You will understand it in a minute. So now take a look at it. What all has happened? The moment we said JSP colon use bean instance was created. Bean created its own dependency now. And this is where I've not put in set email, set password. You can add those stressors. You'll see setters are getting called thanks to that JSP colon set property. And this is where the business logic execution. And from the business logic execution, what is the method we are calling? User DAOs execute query. Is the console output clear to everyone? Making sense so far? Only one. What about others? Two. Everyone, because you know this is a lab session. Majority is supposed to talk to me, not just 10 people like how it happens in our theory session. Others, I don't know where they are. So the point is this far is this. You can keep a cursor here, or you can add a line here, something. I mean anything. So you know this much has been drawn. Now go to the client side and try to refresh the page. Okay, before doing that, let me tell you, the client psychology, client's thinking. Anytime there is a sluggish response, first thing we do is refresh. Okay, you know how clients are hyper and eager and all that. So suppose you do this, it is asking you something. Your observation skills have to be excellent in order to be a good programmer. So which is the page I have refreshed? I'm trying to refresh the admin success page. But now, if you open the backend, how many times the select query has been fired on the database? Exactly once or every time it has been fired? Tell me, how many times the select query has been fired on the database? All 3 times. Are you getting it? Is it correct or is it wrong? When I'm refreshing the, what was that? Show form servlet or whatever, no, not servlet, show form page, why it is refreshing or why it is firing the select query multiple times? Of course, this is wrong. This is multiple form submission. So why it is happening? Anyone wants to tell me quickly? First of all, tell me, is it a right behavior or is it a wrong behavior? If you're finding it is all right, then there is a story over. Of course, wrong. It should have executed the query just once, right? So we are on the same level. Everyone finds it wrong. So anyone wants to tell me, why do you think it is? Form is also getting submitted. You remember it asked you, do you want to confirm the form submission? And it is also. Yogesh, your answer is fine, but it won't stand a chance in interview. So try to speak in a formal manner. The root cause is absolutely right. The root cause is server pull. So guys, when you use the server pull technique, JSP colon forward, client is navigated to the next page. Which is that next page? Show form page. But in the same request or in the next request? Same or next? Same. And we are not actually on the same page. We have already reached that show form page. How can you say you are in the same page? You should have said more formally, the URL has not changed. Guys, don't feel confused. Otherwise, open. This is definitely not the content I have written in validate.jsp. This is the content we have written in a show tutorial.jsp. So are we in validate.jsp or are we in show tutorial form.jsp? Show or validate? Tell me. Show. But thanks to your what is it called? Server pull technique. Will the URL change or will the URL not change? URL is not changing. So anytime you say refresh, it is submitting the same data submitted. So it is asking your permission, submitting the form and executing the query. So even though server pull is a faster technique than client pull, does it have its own share of problems? Does it come with problems? 100% yes. So I've already given you the answer to my next question. So what do you think will be the solution to this problem? So, okay, before you start responding, what I want is here, let client refresh this page, show form page like 100 times. How many times the select query should be fired? 1 or 100? Exactly once. Are we agreeing all this? Okay, so what is the solution? Tell me. Solution to the problem. Yes, please. No idea? Try it out. Okay, I'll give you a clue. So if I, yes, redirect to another URL. Means what? Do we want to see the validate.jsp as a URL or do we want to see show form page.jsp as the URL? The show form. So which technique you want to use in short? Client pull or server pull? Of course, a client pull. You got this? So again, I'll make my important statement. Even though server pull is faster, in certain cases, you do not want to use the server pull. Anytime you are submitting the form, typically via post and all, the next navigation typically we use is the redirect. And this is a well-known pattern in the industry by the name PRG, not my short form. It's a known short form, post redirect get. So there is a set of very, what do you say, good articles, and not articles, pictures, which I have shared you in today's help, open day at help. You'll find a folder, diagrams. And the first diagram tells you about the problem. Second diagram solves the problem. Open the first one. I told you, unfortunately, today I have to take this in theory because tomorrow, come what may, I want to start with Hibernate so that we will have sufficient time on your project technologies. That's the whole thinking. Okay, so continue. So this is the example of not user validation. This is an example website. This is a downloaded from that user submitting inserting the order. So follow me here. User fills out the order form. Okay, user says this is a purchase order. Clicks on a submit button. Since it contains critical data, maybe post. Okay, so as a form submission, you may be having servlet JSP, I don't care. The order is inserted into the database. In short, the record is inserted in the orders table. And we want to, this thing, what is it called? We want to send the confirmation that, okay, your order has been placed successfully, etc. So here, which is the response code we are sending here? Redirect or success code, 200 series or 300 series? It's a 200 series. So user gets a message, your order was successful. But maybe there was some delay, in getting the response. User being a user, a hyper user, refreshes the page. So if you have used this forward technique, tell me, you will be, submitting the request to the order submission form or order, which page will get refreshed? Which URL will be resubmitted? Order insertion or order confirmation? It's not a difficult question at all. Order confirmation, guys, you lost it. If you say order confirmation, then the whole job is like not required. Okay, let me try again. This is a server pull technique. I'm not saying 302. Redirect I have not yet done in this diagram. So when the user refreshes the page, which is the URL the client is seeing? This is your server pull. So I'm giving you two options. One was order insertion or order submission.jsp and one was order confirmation.jsp. Which URL will the client see? Order insertion submission. So the moment you say refresh, the URL of the order insertion will get refreshed And what will you have in your database? A duplicate order. Are you understanding what I said? And that can be so dangerous. So that is called as double submit problem. When I say double, it's not really double. If I refresh it 10 times, how many dummy orders, how many duplicate orders I'll end up having in the database? All 10. Understood the problem? What is the root cause of this problem? The sending the, what do you say? Server pool basically by sending the status code. So what is the solution? Solution is nothing but replace forward by redirect. So now see the solution. The next diagram shows you the solution. Take a look at it. So first half is the same. This is your order form, order insertion form, submitted via post, order is inserted. So far, so good. Earlier, we were sending via that forward, we were sending, okay, that order submission and order confirmation was chained with a one request. So we were sending directly. After that order confirmation, we were sending 200. Now tell me, the moment I say 300 series, what is it? Success code or redirect code? Everyone knows redirect. So a temporary redirect response is sent to the client. You know this story so many times. We have said this last week. So the client browser will send a new request. But what is the method it will use? Get or post. Browser is sending. So see the word PRG. Post redirect get pattern. Okay. And using that get, now you will have the URL of order confirmation page. And then you are sending a success 200 series and giving a message, your order was all successful. So this in-between response, it's a temporary redirect response. Will client as a person, will it ever know about it? Or will it be user transparent? Of course, it will be user transparent. So user being hyper, if user refreshes the page, now at least answer me correctly. Which URL will be resubmitted? Order insertion or order confirmation? 100% clear? So how does it matter if I refresh this order confirmation page 100 times? Is it going to add the duplicate orders in my database all the time, or only single order? Only single order. Understood that? Sometime later, some days later, you have to see all this in Spring. So I'm just, today's whole day's preparation for Spring MVC. So this is what we want to add. So later, like I said, you have your, I'll be logging off little early today, but you have time. So you can definitely take a look at it. So coming back to the point, everyone understood it? You will say today it is not so dangerous. Agreed. Today it is just a select query, read only query. But imagine this was an update query or this was insert query or any DML, it will definitely hurt. So now tell me I already spent a lot of time in that. So what is the solution? Okay, what is the problem and what is the solution? I'll take you here. Line number, which is the problem causing thing? JSP colon forward. So what is it I want to replace? What is it we want to replace? Yes, the server pool by client pool. Understood it? Definitely revise whenever you get a chance. After I leave the session. Okay. So now in JSP standard actions, is there a standard action by the name JSP colon redirect? Answer is no. There is no JSP standard action which can do the client pull. So when you don't have the standard actions, you are learning. I told you I had to take this new actions under the name JSTL, JSP standard tag library. So this part was a little bit unavoidable today. So wait a second. Let me just open. I'll just open. I have given you all the things. Just open readme JSP. I'll be there. So if you open that D8 help readme JSP, search for a word JSTL. So there's a complete write-up here. So what we have looked at were the standard actions, JSP standard action, which was part of your JSP API jar. But when your JSP standard actions are insufficient to solve your business logic requirements, don't go to the scriptlets part. See, I can solve anything and everything with a scriptlet, but do you do you want to write the JSP with scriptlets or without scriptlets? Answer is without scriptlets, correct? So we are discussing additional actions which are supplied as JSTL actions. So identify the steps and we'll perform it. It's not at all a difficult one. So here, the first step is, okay, I always give an analogy at this point. The analogy is core Java analogy. If you want to use SOP, system.out.println, do you need to import any packages explicitly? Core Java day one question. Answer is no. Why? Because which is the default available package? Java.lang, and system class belongs there. You got me? But the moment you talk about your scanner or a hash map or this thing, whatever, date, which is the first thing you'll have to do? Import java.util.map. Yes, and then continue. Likewise, till we were in the standard actions, did we have to import any jars? Answer is no. But the moment you want to add your own, you want to use some additional actions, JSTL, later Spring MVC actions and all that, you will have to, first thing is add the jar, and then you will use the taglib directive, the third one, which I have not discussed, that we will that we will use to import it. So first things first, those who are using my supplied Tomcat, I have already copied it. But I remember one of you, I don't remember the names. I'm sorry for that. So some of you have downloaded it separately. So the first step is for them, I'll just show you. Open the Tomcat home, please. Tomcat home is where you have extracted the Tomcat. Open that, and under the lib folder, if you are using my supplied version, I have already taken care. So that JSTL 1.2 jar is already copied. Those who are using downloaded from the net or whatever, first thing is copy the jar. I have supplied it to you in yesterday's help. So the day 7 help, JSP help, I have already given the JSTL jar. So what is the step 1? Step 1, you don't have to take, all of you don't have to take. Those who don't have it, copy the jar under JSTL 1. I'm so sorry, copy the JSTL jar under Tomcat lib. Is it already present? Is it available or not? Okay, so those who don't have it would have copied. Now the next step, like how we had to use import the package classes and all that. Here you have a taglib directive to import additional tag libraries. See the word tag library. So JSP tags, tags is nothing but those JSP actions. And when you say library, are we talking about a single tag or a multiple tags? Like when you say book library or whatever library, it's a collection. So who is supplying this? JSTL vendor. But it is a part of your J2E specification. And the JSTL 1.2 jar, whatever I have given you, consists of tag implementation classes. So now focus on the syntax. So I'm showing you how to import that JSTL. And once you import JSTL, in JSTL, there is a direct action redirect. So that is my whole efforts. So how do you import? There are something like 5 libraries JSTL supports. We are just going to use today JSTL core tag library. So start reading it left to right. When I say %, what is it? Scripting element directive, or is it a action? It is a JSP directive. What is the name of the directive? Earlier we said page and include. Now I'm showing you taglib. And there are 2 attributes here. One is a URI and one is a prefix. So this URI is sun supplied. It's a part of a JSTL specification. So you can see java.sun.com, JSP JSTL core, and prefix can be anything. But since it is a core tag library, typically we use the prefix as C. So why don't we try this? So don't copy paste this line. It gets auto completed control space. So now go to your which page? Validate.jsp. Open validate.jsp, and typically where do we add all the imports? At the top of the page. So start typing. So here %@. This is your directive. What is the name of the directive we are going to use for importing tag library? The name of the directive itself is taglib. Now you can simply say control space, choose the attribute URI. Reach here. And now simply say control space, and it will give you the drop-down list of all available tag libraries. So choose the third one from the top, java.sun.com, JSP JSTL core. Reach here, found the drop-down list. I just did control space so that you are not expected to remember any of it. Just understand. And then if you say prefix, if you say control space, it will choose C. C standing for core. So now can I use all JSTL supplied core tags in my JSP, or can I use only JSP standard actions? Can I use JSTL actions additionally? 100% yes. And later, whenever you get time and all that, you can go through that readme JSP. So many actions I've discussed. So I'll show you the one with the name of redirect. Yeah. Okay, there's a C: redirect. Anyway, instead of discussing here, let me show you directly. It's easier that way. So start. This is, you can keep it under the comment so that later, whenever you are revising the whole stuff, you can actually, compare. This was a server pull. Now let us replace it by the client pull. If it was a servlet, how you would have done it? Response.send redirect. But if the cookies are disabled, you remember today morning we discussed URL rewriting. So which is the method we use for URL rewriting? Any memory? I want to achieve both send redirect plus URL rewriting. So which is the method for that? Encode redirect URL, a very right answer. And the best news is you don't have to write any Java code. The tag does it automatically. So simply say C:. Why I'm choosing C? Because here I gave the prefix of C. If I give the prefix of C123, what will be the prefix I'll have to use here? Obviously, C123. In short, the point I'm trying to make is there's nothing about the prefix. You can choose the prefix. So typically, let's use C for core, control space it, and choose your redirect. And it tells you in a one-liner, redirects to new URL. So simply say C: redirect. You can add the body, but currently we are not adding any body. So close the tag. Done this much? C: redirect. JSTL supplied redirect. But what you have here is, like how here we had a page attribute, here the attribute name is URL. And anyone wants to tell me, what should be the value of this URL? Just 1 minute I have. I'm giving you 1 minute. What should I use as the value? Let me see what you're saying. Absolutely right. We just want to navigate it to the same value. Only thing is, in the same request or in the next request? Of course, next. That is why I asked you to put it in a comment and all, so you don't lose it, and simply paste it. And now you have to, this is what makes, I hope, understanding better. What will be the equivalent Java code a container will call? The moment I say C: redirect, CP or SP, Client pool. Client pool 1 or client pool 2? Client pool 2. So start writing. This is how you revise your servlet plus understand JSP. So response.send redirect. And as I told you, it's not going to just redirect. It is going to use response.encode redirect URL also. So response.encode redirect URL. And then the whole, that I'm not writing. So what these dots are, the session.getAttributeUser.authenticate_user appended to .jsp. So I'll wait here for a minute and I'll send you these 2 lines in case you want it. You get it on control space, but the comment you won't get it. So just send you that. Tell me after you are done. Save it. The comments are too many, but let them be like for today. So since it is all new for you, you let me know whenever you have done it and we will test it. Two things, 2 lines only you are typing. One is the taglib directive to import JSTL supplied code tag library. And second one is C:(redirect) using the tag. Done? Okay, great. Now, let us restart the server so that you can, everything you can see from scratch. When I say restart, shut down, stop and all, click on the server tab. And here, my server is already started. I'm saying start again, restart. So that I can discuss things from beginning. As always, look at the console. Now, no errors. Clear the console. Go to the client side. Start from the home page. And now don't waste your time giving a wrong this. You'll definitely see admin login successful. But you'll say we were seeing that already. As my favorite statement, all answers are in URL. So tell me, is it a new request, new URL, or is it the same request stretched to visit multiple pages? It is the new request. Okay, go to the server side, please, and clear the console. This is fine. This is the first time you execute queries. So, you can draw a line or whatever. Just a remarker. And now refresh it couple of times. So tell me, you are resubmitting the request to show tutorial form or what is that? Validation. Of course, show tutorial form. And answer is, you don't have to even look at it. Not even, only the query. How many times the select query was fired? Once or multiple times. So this is your double submit guard using which industry grade pattern, design pattern? PRG. What is that PRG? Post redirect get. We're going to use it so many times, guys, in Spring MVC. So this was the preparation. I'll wait here for a minute. You tell me whether you understood that PRG pattern and whether you got that right using some JSTL action. Then our work will continue. You let me know whenever you are looked at it. You're supposed to tell me when you are done or when you have understood, when you have revised it on your own. Just 2-liners. Multiple submit guard, double submit guard, and the action C:(redirect). Done or not? Done? Okay. Can I continue? Like I said, today I'm going to leave early. Around 6 o'clock. So after that, again, you have a lot of revision time. So just allow me to continue. So now we are actually going to continue with the admin part of the case study. So as usual, I discussed it all. Some of you have done it also. So now, which is the next page where the control has come to show form page? That earlier it was a servlet, today it is a JSP. So now think and answer. This is a form. So does this form involve any dynamic elements? I mean, any, what do you say, a dynamic stuff or all static? It has dynamic. Which one, which input is dynamic? The first one, the topic. Here, earlier I had given you the flexibility that, okay, you can type it, input type text. But today when we are doing it together, of course, I want it as a drop-down list. In short, select option list. And that those options will be what? Options will be fetched from database. So naturally, static or dynamic? 100% a dynamic. Everyone gets it? So I'm sure those who have tried will feel the whatever hassle. It was so much of a hassle to perform the dynamic form generation from a servlet because you are mixing up PL and VL, presentation logic and a business logic. But today we have a JSP exclusively meant for this thing. What is it? Form generation, presentation logic generation, and you'll see it becomes so easy. Understood what I said? Even if you are not understood, let us continue generating this, and you will definitely get the feel. And this part, whatever that dynamic part, of course, will solve. So, which is the next page we have already come to. Since we are developing, I was just thinking, yeah, you can stop the server. Otherwise, it might keep on getting redeployed. Okay, so we are already in the show tutorial form page. So this is like already written, and here now let us add your form. Is everyone clear what we are adding? What we are doing? So just go to login.jsp. Don't waste time in this. So I'll just take this TRTD little bit so that I don't have to waste time in HTML type, and come here and close the tags accordingly. I don't think anyone requires my help in creating this. If you want help, wait, I will generate it and give you. So start answering the questions. For debugging time, best method is get, because I can see everything from the query string and I can debug. So I change it to get. Later, you can change it to post. Anyone wants to tell me? Don't tell me blindly. Look at the case study and tell me what should be the form submitted to. In short, what should be the form action? I'm asking you one by one questions. So what should be the form action? Servlet. Are we developing, Avinash, today servlets? What are the servlets going to be replaced by? JSP. Okay, it's a combo of JSP and JavaBeans. Presentation logic JSP, your whatever business logic bean. So let's call it as, is it a show form phase or is it a process? I mean, will it be submitted to show form.jsp or process form.jsp? Process form. Okay, so give some name. We don't have it. We'll write it in a couple of minutes. So is this line clear? Why I use method equal to get only for testing, only for debugging. And now let us quickly start generating the elements. So first itself is dynamic topic. So here I can give the table caption if you want. So that caption is what? Add new tutorials. You can add your bootstrap and all that CSS if you want. I would say don't take so many efforts. Instead, learn Java, J2E. And caption is there. So here, what is that label I want is topic. So here it is, topic. And here, this is going to be your select option list. So now, okay. I'm not getting this. No problem. Select. I got a short form. Select has a name. And here you will have the options. Correct? And option will have a value. All I'm adding is a blank this things. And then we will have the option name here. So this is it. I mean, leave this aside. So this is your select option list, which we will of course fill up later. And here I can give anything such as, okay, you yourself can tell me why should I. So here anyone wants to tell me the value of the option, static or dynamic. All this option business, static or dynamic, 100% dynamic. So I'm saying right now, don't worry about this first row. We will come to that. Let us first finish those simple types, the static types, and then we will come back here. So finish the rest of the form quickly. Name, author, publish date, and contains. So let's start. Name. So another row. The name, the tutorial name, and here it is simply a text field, input type text. Name is equal to, I can say this is always give, the names you'll understand later. You don't have to close it also. I mean, it's not a JSX. If you want, you can continue with the practice of JSX. You can always close it. No issues. HTML doesn't make it compulsory. JSX makes it compulsory. Okay, so that's your TRTD, input type done. Next is what's the next I forgot? Author, yeah. So just copy paste couple of things. So it is author, the author of a tutorial. Okay. Next is the publish date. Okay, I was going to say date of publication. Date. What will be the input type? Obviously, text or date. Input type date naturally. HTML5 supports all of that. Date, and I can have here pub date or something. This. Okay. So name I've got, author I've got, publish date I've got. Let's add this thing, text area. Actually, nobody adds a text area. We have that input file option where you can upload the contents. So that file upload, file download, I'll show you in Spring. Not here, not this. So here I'm saying contains, and here text area. You can have whatever rows, whatever columns you want. Something. And here you can have this closed and without fail. Okay, so I don't think it will allow it that way. And here you give the name. Name is, let's say, contains. And of course, we'll require a submit button to submit the form. And you can say value is equal to input type separate value is add a tutorial, add new tutorial. So let's see. Other than the select option list, are we done? I think we are done. So let's just check it. What I'll do is I'll just comment this much so that it won't bother me. Let me just confirm, and then I can send you this basically. If there are something, not correct about any of this, if I made a mistake, I'll know. HTML mistake, I'm saying, not a. Okay, so it has got some, like I said, some decent where user understands it. And this part is dynamic, and the select option list is not submitted. So I can send you the basic form. which is what? Show tutorial form. So you don't want to type that HTML, you can take it from me. And our main discussion will begin then. Oh, Control Shift / will remove the comment. You tell me when you reach here, we will discuss together and then we'll proceed. I just got the form tutorial name, author, publication date, contents, and I think looks okay. You can always add a containers and bootstrap and all that. Waiting for your response. Don't waste time in typing out HTML. Not worth it. I told you, I've given you the HTML, basic HTML. This is not a HTML class. So, okay. So I've already supplied you with this. Now focus on this select option list, which is very important to us. So as we said, okay, focus here. So what is it is going to be populated with? It is going to be populated with the topic names. But what is the value of the option you want to set? Topic name or topic ID? Value, topic ID. Everyone knows it. But now the problem is, okay, those who have done it in the servlet, how they must have done it? Servlet had to call, where is this topics? Where are these all topics? In the database. So you must have called, if you have done it. If you have not done it, you will do it now. You must have called, the servlet must have called the doubler method. Which doubler method, guys? So you can tell me. There are 3 doublers in our discussion. So which one? Topic DAO, tutorial DAO, or user DAO? Whose method? Topic DAO's method. I'm not even opening the implementation. Oh, sorry. I topic DAO I wanted to. And which method you would have called? Get all topics. Understanding me? Like I said, if you have done it, you will understand it fine. Otherwise, understand it now. So who was calling it earlier? Who was earlier calling the doubler method? Your servlet. Now in today's scenario, guess smartly, who will be calling this doubler method? The JSP or JavaBeans? There's no servlet, so don't tell me this. Of course, a JavaBeans. Everyone agrees with me? Everyone understands what I'm saying? Very similar work in couple of days we will do, but with Spring MVC. So I might continue with the case study or I might change it. I mean, we'll see that. But the technologies I'm going to show you differently. So coming back to the point, now let me ask you a question. Do you think in the same user bean, who is already managing the user DAO, should I start managing the topic DAO, tutorial DAO, or should I go for separation? The tone itself tells you. Yes, the separation always is preferable. You got me? So now pause your JSP. We have already done it till the topic DAO layer. So what is the next step you want to take? What is the next layer you want to create? Which layer? Which class we will create together? Tell me. A topic bean. And what will be the dependency of a topic bean, guys? A topic DAO. What else? Got me? So here, the case study is, I don't want to, I told you the timing is all. So I will create a together topic tutorial kind of a bean. Later, if you want, you can separate it that also. So that I don't have to write too many beans and confuse you. So here, in the beans, let's create this is your fresh experience. I'm showing you the admin section. If you want to try it on your own, now you completed customer branch. If you want. Today, I'll say don't rush yourself. Today, even if you revise and understand, that is good enough. So right click bean, new. I'm just thinking class. Just give me a minute. Let me see what will be easier for you. I'm just thinking, I'll tell you why thinking aloud. I'll tell you what I'm thinking. Topic bean or topic tutorial bean together or separate. A separation is always best, but sometimes it becomes a little difficult to code. Let's start with the separation. If I find that it is becoming too heavy for you, we can combine the two things in one. So guys, create just now only topic bean and say finish. So like how you have become, I hope, totally comfortable in JDBC based DAO layer, I want you equally comfortable in the bean. So it is a public package class. And you tell me, what is the dependency of this topic bean? What will be this topic bean dependent upon? Which DAO layer? Topic DAO, right? So no, ID name and all will be in the JSP you are mixing up here. So here, let's identify the state or nothing but properties. So here, are we getting, see this, I'm showing you how to think about it. When the user is redirected to this page, you're not getting any request parameters. So there's nothing coming from the client, but you still require add a DAO layer, add a, what DAO layer? Topic DAO. Topic DAO reference as the property, because it's dependency. So private topic DAO IMPL. You can either use iTopic DAO and interface reference can refer to implementation or this one. Any approach is fine. Currently, let's do this much. Now I'm giving you a minute to write a default constructor. Write it. Write the default constructor of a topic bean in the next minute. Let me see how you are managing it. You have the reference of a user bean and you know dependent and dependency. So show me. It's just a 2-liner code. Only that much, Ankit? You'll need something more. It won't be a blank constructor. Yes, please. Yeah. So what will you write? Yes, you'll have to create the instance of this thing. What is it called? Topic DAO. You are absolutely right. So things are, otherwise I wouldn't have written the constructor, obviously. So add a SOP so you can do the debugging or understanding the tracing the flow correctly. So I'm saying in topic bean constructor. And here, let's create the instance of the create the dependency. Create the instance of beans dependency. And what is that beans? What is topic bean dependent upon? Topic DAO. So all of it we used to write. You remember in the init method of a servlet. Here we are nicely separating it and putting it in the bean. So topic DAO is equal to new topic DAO IMPL. And looking at time today, we're not going to finish it, but I'll at least get you started, give you some more things to think about. And don't this thing, handle it. We will write an error handler page in the JSP. So throws the SQL exception. Oh, it's not a SQL exception. Oh, class not found. There's some problem with the code. Just a second. Topic DAO MPL should not have this exception at all. It doesn't have it. It is a old code, so it got it. So, okay, I don't know whether you understood what I did. This was my something earlier code. So where I was actually loading the driver, but in the latest driver, it is not required. So I removed from the topic DAO IMPL throws class not found exception. So this looks all right. Done it. Completed. So topic bean constructor is called. Now, we are not yet gone to JSP layer. We'll go there, of course, in 2 minutes. But now tell me, here, there is only one property topic DAO and you have already initialized it. So think and answer. Don't go by my tone. Do you need to generate any setters, getters? Setter definitely not required. Getter, we are going to require something like in cleanup and all. We will add it tomorrow. I don't think today we'll complete it. So here, now directly let us add a business logic method. Add a business logic method to, anyone wants to tell me? Which business logic method? What kind of business logic method you want to write here in a bean? Okay, I'll see if you can understand. Otherwise, I'll give you a clue. So on the first day, bean can be a little confusing. Where we are stuck, or we are discussing how to get this dynamic list of topics all the way from database to DAO to bean, and bean to JSP. So yes, so we have to get the topic list. Absolutely correct. So add business logic method to get the list of all topics. I'm telling you from experience, first think in a comment what is to be done. The code implementation definitely follows immediately. So what is the only rule on the business logic method? It has to be public. And typically we don't write any static methods in the beans. So what should be the return type of this method? I hope it is an easy question. A topic list, what else? So list, and the type, don't go blindly, list java.util.list and choose the topic as a topic pojo. And here, suppose I say get topics. Guys, observe. I've been after you from the first day of Java. Write proper naming convention. So here I have written it, get and topics, and this. You'll understand. So if you want to trace it, which you should do on the first line, first day, either you attach a breakpoint and run the debugger, or put a lot of SOPs, your choice. So I'm saying in business logic method. So if something doesn't work, at least you know. And which business logic method? Get topics. Can anyone give me the next line? It's an easy one. Line number 23. Yes. So all you have to call is the, see, JSP is going to call JavaBeans method. JavaBean is going to call your DAO layer method, and get that list and return it to the caller. So why don't we do it in one line? Return, which is the method to call, topic DAO dot something, get all topics. Again, unhandled, checked exception, delegate in the rows. I'll wait here for a minute, and while I'm waiting, I'll send you this. SRC main Java beans and topic bean. You let me know whenever you have finished this much. So now we have climbed one level up. So where are we currently? We are currently in a JavaBean. JavaBean has called the DAO layer method. DAO layer will hit the database with what you say, select query, select star from topics. It has got the results from the database, and that it has returned to the JavaBean. And JavaBean simply has to return it to your JSP. This is the data flow. So which part is done? JavaBeans part is done. Got it so far? So now which is the part which is remaining? Who has to call whose method now? The remaining part. JSP has to call the beans method. So which JSP page? Tell me from here. Which is the JSP page which has to call this method? Everyone knows the answer. Show tutorial form page, or whatever that, show form, whatever. Show this. So here, go to that. Where are we? Show tutorial form. And let's not put it directly here. Let's do little bit of debugging. Otherwise, okay. So in this case, please again comment this. We are still not ready for that. So now answer the question. Can JSP directly call the instance method. See my stress. Instance method of a Java bean, or does it have to do something before? Answer is it has to do something before. Can you directly call instance method? You can't. So what is it JSP will have to do first? Yes, please. Yes. Okay. I was expecting the answer instance. Yes. Create the instance of a Java bean. So for creating the instance of the Java bean, you want to write a scriptlet or no scriptlet? Answer is no scriptlet. So which is the JSP action? You know, which will automatically call the constructor and put it in a desired scope. Use bean. So guys, there is a pattern. There's a design practice. Instead of creating Java beans all over the pages, why don't you go to the first page of your website, which is the welcome page, which is the first page of your website? Tell me. CMS, the first page, welcome file, welcome page, which is the welcome file of this. There's no index page. I've not written any index page, login.jsp. And as a norm, add all the beans. Which beans currently? I've got topic bean, I've got this bean, user bean, put it all there. If you ask me, if I do it here, will it work? 100% it will work, but better design pattern. So observe what I'm doing. I mean, you also do it with me. So pick up that. What is it you pick up? Open validate.jsp. I'm just centralizing all the bean creation, exactly similar to in our login servlet init method, we were creating all the Java instances. Very similar pattern I'm taking here. No change in the thinking. So just pick up here, Control X, and put it in the login form. That is the reason I wrote it as a login.jsp and not login as HTML. So here, so this was your create user bean instance. And now in the next minute, create topic bean instance and put it under the session scope. Okay. So here, this is a comment, server side comment, create, what was that? Topic bean instance and add it under the session scope. So I'll wait here. You dictate, you write line number 12. It's like a copy paste. I just want you to feel comfortable. Everyone knows what I'm waiting for. You should write your JSP news mail in a very similar manner. You can save all of that and try this. Okay, so yeah, so why don't you write the whole thing here and give me the answer? That is easier. JSP use bean. Should I use the same ID? Of course not. ID is always unique. So let's call it as topic. And here you can close the tag and supply the class, which is going to be the fully qualified class name, and supply the scope. And you can keep it as session. One bean, one DAO per client, or one bean per client, not DAO, one bean per client. And here you can say beans dot control space and use the topic bean. Check if you are done so much. So that I'm centralizing all the bean creation right in the the login page. So whether I take a customer flow or whether I take an admin flow, I can always use the similar beans. JSP news bean ID topic. Yes, absolutely correct, guys. You're right. Done this much. So check. After doing this, I will share the zip file with you. Don't worry. So in login.jsp, how many beans we are creating? 2 beans. One is a user bean and one is a topic bean, where I might add the tutorial logic also because I don't want to waste too much time. Anyway, so that it is. Now I'm saying Just a second, wait a second. I'm just thinking. Okay, fine. So in holiday.jsp, there's no bean. And here, show tutorial form. I hope you have commented. And here, this is a debugging. Finally, we are going to add it into the select option list. So this is just a debugging. So add a line here, all topics. Okay. And anyone wants to tell me, how will I get all that topic list lifted from the database to DAO to Bean, and Bean to JSP? In short, tell me. This is an in-between step, debugging step. So I'm waiting for your answer. Who has to call whose method to get all these details? Who has to call whose method? JSP has to call the Bean method. Bean has already called the DAO method. So do you want to tell me, how will you call the JavaBeans method? What will you use? Scripting element, directive, action, EL syntax, whatever. Of course, EL syntax. So tell me, start writing. I was expecting an answer, by the way. Okay, no extra white spaces. Let me see if anyone has answered. Okay, session.topic. This thing. First of all, it is not session, Gaurav. Session does not is not a EL implicit object. It's a session scope. Okay. So now let me say this properly. So whose method I want to call? Topic beans method. Which method I want to call? Get topics. So for a while, I'll change in a I'll go in a right to left manner. So here, this method. But now tell me, doesn't it look like a standard getter? Of course, yes. That is how I named it. So do I have to call it as a get topics, or do I call it as a property? Idea is to call it as a property. See, all these tricks I'm showing you so that with Spring MVC, you won't find it difficult. So here, when I say dot topics, which is the method internally container will call? Get topics. And you're getting it? Topic T has to be lowercase. Now tell me, whose method you want to call? This is the method of a topic bean. And topic bean we have identified under the ID of topic. So I think that part was, everyone gave me correctly. So topic.topics. And where to search for this topic bean, which is an attribute? Don't say session. Session means HTTP session. I'm referring to the innermost map of session scope attributes. So session scope. So session scope dot topic dot this thing topics, and let it have the red cross and all. We'll see. We'll run it. So what will be the equivalent Java code, guys? Session dot get attribute topic dot get topics. Understood? So let's try it out. Let's see whether it is working at all. So here, and then we will populate it in your drop down list. Last part. I mean, I'm having it as a last part since I have to give the correct credentials and tell me, is it lifting all the topics correctly as per the database? Are you seeing the topics lifted correctly? Is it working fine? So earlier, servlet was calling a DAO layer. That servlet we have separated into JSP, presentation logic, business logic in JavaBean, and that whole thing finally displayed or finally displayed into JSP. I'm waiting for more acknowledgements. Is it working? I just got 3, 4. Is it working for others also? Great. But this is not how I wanted. What we wanted as a form, select option list, form element. So now the last part. Last part means that is where I'm stopping. So here, please open. This is like, intermediate testing. So now I know for sure I'm getting this fine. So I don't have any, what do you say, doubt whether JSP is getting the data from the JavaBeans, all tested fine. Now, here you start, okay, so now it is finally, now I'm not going to waste your time here. So here, which part is dynamic? Select part is dynamic or option part is dynamic? Quickly. Option part is dynamic. So how many options will you have? Is it fixed or is it decided by the database data? I mean, is it dependent upon table? Of course, from the table. So those who have done it in a servlet, they must have attached a for each. I recall what you must have done in this thing. You must have iterated over the list. I'll talk in code for each what? Topic T in topics or whatever. And then you must have added the this thing, the topic name here as a label and topic ID here. Am I correct? Those who have not done it, not to worry, you are doing it with us today. So, but now, okay, so that is how you did it in servlet. But again, that was such a horrible experience because you are mixing up business logic and presentation logic. Here we have nicely separated presentation logic, but I have a problem. The problem is, can I attach a for each loop here? Or let me rephrase. If I want to attach a for each loop, once again, I have to go to the scriptlet. Understood what I'm saying? So we definitely don't want to mix up a scriptlet here. So that is why there is an additional JSTL action. And that action name itself is for each. So if you go through it, I've written somewhere, I must have written somewhere. So of course, this was a online shop case and all. So I mean, like, you may not understand it, the significance, but I have given the syntax. This is a banking. This was my banking case study. Anyway, so instead of confusing you like different examples, let us use it for our case study and we'll work it out. So I'll repeat the statements. We definitely don't want to add a scriptlet. So is there a standard JSP action for iteration? Answer is no. So which are the additional actions we are using or rather learning today? JSTL core tag actions. So what is the first step in JSTL? Copy the jar. Is JSTL 1.2 jar already? I mean, is the step taken? Answer is yes. I have already confirmed. Rather, you have already confirmed. So now you have to, second step is import the tag library. So tell me, which is the, which is that directive you have to use? Page, include or taglib? Answer is taglib. Same thing I'm doing. I'm just giving you extra practice. Otherwise, I'll say copy that line. Don't copy. It becomes easy here. And then you give the URI. Pause here for a second. It will show you the drop-down list. Choose JSP, JSTL core, and supply the standard prefix of C. So the first step was in the JSTL, add the jar, copy the jar. I never said add external jar. Don't misunderstand me. Copy physically, which I have done under the Tomcat lib. Import the tag library. And what is going to be the, which was the earlier tag you learned? Just little bit earlier for client pull. What is the name of the JSTL action we used? For client pull, redirect. Here it is for each. No guesses, no surprises. So now do it with me. So let us give the name here. So what I'm selecting is the topic ID. So you can give the name as topic ID itself. See, always give the relevant names, you understand better. And this tag, the option you are going to wrap it in a C:, for each. So type C:, for each. Just say control space and read. The basic iteration tag, which accepts many different type of collections, as well as they are not written, but it can iterate over array. You can go over string. It's a powerful tag. So C:, for each. And pick this up and put it, wrap the whole thing. The option, wrap it in C:, for each. I'm waiting every stepwise. We are not complete. We just started. Okay. So this is your standard action. Sorry. Yeah, JSTL supplied action. Now, in C colon for each, there are various attributes. One of them is var, which is equivalent to your loop local variable. Okay. So here and there is another tag like items, and not tag. I'm sorry. The attribute is items. So this is the collection of items to iterate over. Okay. So here is the items, and then we just fill in the values, and you will see it becomes so easy. So anyone wants to tell me what is that collection which I want to iterate over? In short, what is it I should add under items? The topics. Absolutely. Yes, list of topics. But can you're absolutely right. But do you have that somewhere? Answer is yes. That is why I do it in a gradual manner. So pick up this EL syntax. What it is giving you, session.get attribute topic.get topics. So pick this up and paste it under items. So what is this C colon for each? What is this C colon for each? Nothing but for each. Okay. So what is it going to iterate over? All your topics. So this var is actually an attribute, but you can think of it as a loop local attribute. The attribute name can be anything. So let us say, suppose I say T for topic. So if you think in Java, it is like saying for each topic T in the list of topics. Now tell me, what do you want to add here? Topic ID or topic name? Topic ID. Is topic ID static or dynamic? Dynamic. And what is the easiest way to access it? EL syntax. So here, dollar curly braces, T dot, we'll have to check. I'm just checking the name of the property. So what should I open? Topic Pojo, we are iterating over topics. So please open. And I don't know, I don't know, you might have written it separately or this. I have used the name of the property as topic ID. If you give the wrong property name, you know what you'll get? You'll get a property not found exception. There is a javax.el.property not found exception. Do this. So anyone wants to tell me which classes, which method will be called here? I want two answers. The name of the class and the name of the method for this EL syntax. It is very similar to our JSX. Topic classes, get ID method. Perfect. And what is it I want here? Topic ID or topic name? Everyone knows the answer. Which one, please? Topic name. So give me that EL syntax. Now I think everyone can manage. No white spaces, please. T dot. Check. Don't blindly guess it. And more importantly, don't trust your spellings. You make a small spelling mistakes and things start falling apart. So here I picked it up and giving it as a topic name. And after that, once you save it, all red crosses and all should, I mean, everything should vanish. So take a step back. Anyway, I have to log off, but I'm just testing this and sending you this code and uploading on the Google Drive. I'll just do it tonight, little later. So I'll give you all those instructions later. So please observe the, worth of value of separation. All that business logic we have nicely tucked away in the JavaBean. And here we are only focusing on the presentation logic, response generation logic. And once you have learned some tags from JSTL, such as redirect, there is a URL, there is a set, there is a remove, so many tags. This one was for each, C colon for each, which is simple iterator tag. So let's try to run it and see whether it is working as expected. And you can see that. So I can just, I'm just reduce the font and tell me, is it showing you the dynamically populated list of options? And I see this is not a rocket science at all. This is nothing new. Only thing is I'm reducing your efforts of mixing up what you are doing in servlet. We are just separating it in a JSP and a Java bean. So let's try things. So suppose I say servlets. The name of the servlet is something like, okay, so session tracking. So session tracking in servlet. The author, let's say, okay, Raj. And here, let's say the publish date. I have not even done the check sticks and all. We can do it. You can try it out today. I can take it later. So let me see the date, some date, let me say something and something. Session tracking techniques. This is just a, some sample content. And now answer. After I click on add new tutorial, 404 or the next page? I mean, output or 404? Of course, 404, because where we have written process tutorial, but still I'm going to do, because looking, you remember method equal to get. So looking at the URL, I can, looking at the query string, I'll know whether this particular page has been done correctly at all. So here, last statement, I'm just putting this up. And here, I'm just adding the example URL like here, and you check it out. So let's see. This rest is all okay. Process form.jsp. I can say process tutorial form, topic ID, servlets. I hope is one. I'm just checking that form generation. Oh. Yeah, servlets has the topic ID of 1. So looks okay so far. This was the only dynamic one. Sorry. And rest all tutorial name, session tracking, author Raj, publish date something. I must have chosen then. And the contents are session tracking techniques. Is it working for you? Are you getting the proper query string, proper query parameters, request parameters? Okay. So unfortunately, because I have somewhere I have to go reach in time. So this is where I'm stopping. I'm sending you this zip file immediately. So you have two options. You can just sit back in the sense, I mean, you can just look at this and revise. Or if you feel enough confident that, okay, I'm understanding something or this, you can definitely try to go ahead and continue with the admin flow. Just one thing I'm doing, I'm refactoring. Otherwise, that DHCMS was also also supplied in the morning. So let me just have a refactor. I'm calling it as D8 Lab CMS. So anytime later, you will know how we had done it. It got some exception. I must have kept some files open. Give me a sec here. Looks fine. And let me send you the zip of D8 Lab CMS. After a while, not before, little later in the night, I'll be uploading it. So this is a zip. D8 Lab CMS. Yeah. And those who have completed it along with me, no issues. I mean, they can continue. Otherwise, for the rest of you, take this. This is not complete at all. You know that we have to do that process form, the validations and the insertion of a record and all. So all those things are interesting. So I just got you started. So my suggestion is revise the rest of the flow which we developed in the lab, with the understanding of JSP JavaBeans down there. And if you can write that processing logic, process form, and some more beans, and you'll have to add a new tutorial. So the down layer and all, take it ahead. Otherwise, we'll continue these efforts tomorrow morning. So unfortunately, like I said, I can't take the immediate questions. But before I go, you continue, you have a lab session. So guys, after completing the admin part, this finishes the first basic half. of our advanced Java. So tomorrow, I can't predict because it doesn't, I don't know how long will require in question answers, revision and completion. But the moment I cover the admin flow, we are entering our first project technology in form of Hibernate. So what I'll do tonight, because like I said, I have to go somewhere. So tonight I'll be uploading the Hibernate help. Okay. So, and I'm thinking, I'm going to show you a lot of things tomorrow, the Maven folder structure, the Maven project, I mean, a lot of things. So just one request, download whatever I'm sharing under day 8 lab data. One will be this CMS project and other will be Hibernate help. So keep it all downloaded. So tomorrow morning, whenever we reach Hibernate, you won't waste a minute. So that will be all. Whatever questions, sorry, I'm not answering it now. Somebody was asking me include and all those things, or, I mean, what will happen. So try out things. If you are still having some questions, I'll definitely handle them first thing in the morning. That will be all, guys. See you tomorrow. You got this D8 Lab CMS, I guess. So continue and definitely try out some things on your own, or you have a lot of things to read from the sequence, read JSP, do the revision. Your choice. See you tomorrow. That will be all.